Welcome to Locked In, your source for college football intel. We want to give a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our channel this month. We've had a blast talking football with you. If you enjoy this video and want to see more great content, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Even more, share our videos with your friends. Again, thanks for being locked in. I think you're right.
Here you'll see him in that bunch, just motion out of it with Alabama's new transfer going to Texas there. And you'll just see a blown coverage. And they're running man. And you'll just see it's like a little pick route right here. You'll see it with the tight end release right into Raylan Wilson, our freshman linebacker. But at the same time, Malachi is so worried. There's no switch. He's so worried about getting under for that tight end right here that Raylan Wilson just gets completely trapped in that little pick route from the other tight end, and you got the running back just running free wide open down the sideline just because of this right here, getting ran into the tight end right there.
Oh, this is just a mesh wheel concept, and you see so many teams running mesh out of top bunches now. Michigan did it a lot against Alabama, and the thing here, it would be very easy to gripe at 24, but here's what's happened: is that's Malachi Stark, right?
Yes.
So coached against him in youth ball. Pretty funny. He was good, but here's the thing that happens: he is 24 is the guy who is going to be red right here, because one version of mesh that you see Alabama running is the mesh with the running back wheel. And if this defender over here, if he bites inside to cover, like what Chance said, bites inside to cover 81, the tight end, who I think he's also transferred, right? Um, so he's going to come down the line here. The problem is this is a pick your poison play. And we could fault him, or we could fault them all day long about, well, 24 should have come off and, covered the wheel. Well, the linebacker should have come off and covered the wheel. Well, the nature of the play is to create an absolute just mess for the defense in the center of the field, and for there to be open receivers on either side of that mess. So here's the thing that happens. Let's say that in a stroke of brilliance, 24 Stark breaks off and he covers this wheel route. Okay, well, you know what the quarterback's going to do instantly? He's going to look to the other side and he's going to pick up the wing here, who will be 100% wide open for a very nice game. So you can't fault anybody. This is just a great play, and Georgia's defense just wasn't ready to handle it. Now, what I would like to see, if I were going to have a second chance at this, was I think you do need to switch off on that.
Yep.
Somebody needs to be accountable for that linebacker. Chance, could you what can you tell me about that inside linebacker, the Georgia's right inside linebacker? Who is he?
Number 5 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That is Raylan Wilson. He's a freshman. He's
that's
he's known for
that's what I
being
wondered.
very fast. But it's not all there yet. Like C.J. Allen, who's also a freshman. These guys are young, and I mean they're out there playing because multiple injuries. A linebacker,
Mm-hmm.
you got JDJ out half the year and the back half of the year, which really hurts. And then a few other guys, but you have Smile Mundon in there also. But he usually tends to be a jack most of the times this year. And you'll just see him in there, Raylan in there. And I mean, we had a
I
lot
think
of freshmen playing, but like you can't chalk it up to that. I mean, if you're going to put them in there, you need to make sure they know what they're doing.
and I'll tell you something too. Now this is going to sound so stupid. Alabama's center hurt them so badly against Michigan. Maybe even dealt the death blow. I mean, that was a bad snap on that last play. I almost think that this snap right here, which is terrible. I mean, look at how Milrow is positioned. I think that it made number 5, the freshman linebacker, bite up just enough that he could not drop back in that hook curl zone. Because imagine if he drops at the snap 45 degrees to hook curl, how different this play will go. I think he can get over there and at least be in that window. And so, the littlest things sometimes can cause mistakes. And once again, like that step forward, that hard step forward that number 5 makes at the right inside linebacker position, it makes it impossible for him to get back. And so he even backed up a little bit. Um, what can you say? I mean, perfect play call for the situation.
Yeah, you'd like to see there is a higher level, defensive thought here when you see bunches like this where you get out of your man-on-man look. You start. Michigan
Mm-hmm.
actually did this, where all right, everybody knows whose man is who. Now everything gets bunched up. All right, we're going to change it. So now we have responsibilities on the inside. We have responsibilities on the outside. And, you got 7 up here is up on the line. That's fine with the jam. There's a couple ways of doing this. You could have him carry out all the way through on that man, or you can have him jam and then pass it off to the linebacker that he's going to. And then he can do a couple things. He can sit, or he can go take flat. You have a couple options for him. And then you talk about 24, Malachi Starks. He could take off a guy that you pass off. He could back off into a deeper set. There's multiple things you can do here on the other side of the same kind of the same idea. You want to see switch off the man. It doesn't have to be full man anymore. Outside guys, you can be man, and you can also have people that are responsible when you're talking about sets and what you're looking for. When you're talking about bunches, this has to be done pre-game. This has to be done in film.
Yeah.
You got to really work on the idea. Okay, we got bunch sets. We got to get out of our man because this is the man beater. This is how people beat our defense, because this play is designed to make sure that we are wrong. Someone will always be wrong if we stay in this coverage. So there's a couple things you can do with a couple different players. Now, like we're talking about, this is not Malachi Stark's fault per se, because this is what their coverage is. They don't switch off of it. There's no change in how they handle this formation. Because there's no change in how they handle this formation, Alabama knows all we're reading is what 24 does, and we either have a home run shot with one, or we have an open guy for a first down in the other. But what you like to see, especially considering we're talking about University of Georgia, you would like to see them have a call where when they see this formation, they get out of what their normal man is and they have new responsibilities, at least a couple of them, to defend themselves from this very play. But we don't see that, and it costs a touchdown.
Yeah, and we see a
And
lot of
this,
young guys out here too. You see Christian Harris, Xavier Sorey, Raylan Wilson, and Marvin Jones Jr., which are all very inexperienced. So you got to wonder, why do you have this personnel in here?
But you play with what you got. Like you said, if that's what you got out there, they better know what they're supposed to be doing. And
mm-hmm.
like, again, they did what I'm pretty sure they were supposed to do here. They're playing man on man. They all are responsible for a single person. You can see them all try and get to where their guy is going. That is not the player fault. That is a scheme issue. That is we didn't talk about how to defend this bunch set when they do it, other than just stay in the coverage that we're in. We're not going to switch out of it. We're not going to change roles or anything like that. We're going to sit in what we're in. And players execute as best they can, but this play is designed to beat that for a reason. And the only way for it to counter that as a defense is you have to have somebody out there that says, hey, this is that set we
Mm-hmm.
practiced. Move out. Like,
Yep.
change, have one word call, have a motion. If Malachi Starks is the guy who's going to be calling this defense back here for the defensive backfield and in coverage, he's the guy responsible when he sees his formation out here. Hey, whatever his signal is, whatever his word is, you call that thing out, and they don't. And that results into a touchdown for Alabama.
So with this, who who would be the cornerback on this side?
7, right?
Technically, it would be
Or is it 3?
Kamario Astor, who rotates up, rolls
3.
up
Oh
to the
wow,
He
safety.
rolls
wow,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That because that's the thing right there. Because I was thinking, with where 24 Stark is, well, maybe you could an adjustment might be to do to kind of do the just like a sky thing, where he's
Back him
going to drop
off.
back and play that, yeah, back him off into that zone. But yeah, that's not what they do. And I'll tell you something else, because what this is, and this is something that I've been talking about for a long time. I always call, this formation. Some people will call that alignment. They'll call it, they'll call it, nasty, like nasty left. I call this thing blood and guts because we've seen this in high school ball forever. A rival team that we played against, Polk County in Tennessee, they ran this old timey wing tee type stuff. It's not the wing tee, but these formations. I always like had this, like, I guess, dream of being able to run this stuff, but with spread passing concepts, because I always saw that as being so hard to defend, because it really goes against a lot of the philosophies that people will use to defend the pass, because they see this and they think, well, we need to be loaded up for the run or whatever. But I think that an answer right here might be even like the position that Georgia finds themselves in. I almost wonder what would happen if you see this formation, and maybe this, for all we know, this is something that Georgia wasn't quite ready to see them do. I don't know. Um, what if you slant your line to the field, you jam the tight end, and by doing so, you gum up number 81's route. A linebacker can pick him up, and 24 comes out and plays sky coverage, like what I was saying earlier. He just drops back. That takes the wheel away. That makes it very hard for the receivers to escape across the field. And I think you got a shot, at messing this play up, because my money is on saying, and this is no disrespect to him, but my money is on saying that Jalen Milroe has a very simple um, progression that he's following. And if we can take the wheel away here, and we can take the crossing route, the drag right here away on the opposite side, we have a safety deep to contend with this tight end going up the field, who number 7 is riding on. We've got this play handled. And it looks like to me that that's the guy, because I want to say too about number 5. Number 5 looks like it doesn't look like he got caught up. It looks like he absolutely just collisions this guy. Look at the hands on him, throws his hips, throws his head. He hit that tight end.
So, I mean, you're taught anything that crosses your face.
Yep, you hit it.
That's exactly right. And I mean, and in that sense, this young guy's doing what he's been told to do. Again, man, this is such a great play call. And I guarantee you that, they knew that if they got in a position where that they could run this with the young guys in the middle of the defense, they were going to take their shot.
Just one extra thing to go with this, especially when we're talking about how you defend this play. I understand the concept of we have a man on man, everybody is accounted for. But when you think about a play in motion, if you guys as a defense have it set where your outside players have a chance at being responsible for inside routes, and your inside player is the guy who is going to have to run across the field to the outside, which is way away from where he's positioning, and he's going to have to run across bodies to get there, you got a problem. Now, this is not something that you can see drawn up on a board necessarily, because on a board, everything works out perfectly and your guy gets to his spot where he's supposed to be. But when a play is actually happening on the field, you cannot expect an inside backer to cover an outside route and be the only help on that outside. Now, I'll preface this with, obviously, in normal pass concepts, when receivers are out, further outside, you do have Wills and Sams and outside backers covering flats. I understand that. What I'm talking about is from a man perspective, you were saying this inside backer is responsible for the furthest outside route immediately off snap. That's not going to happen. Just from a possible standpoint, when the play is run, there is way too much in his way to be able to get out there to stop it. Now, he might be able to make the play. You roll this right here, he sees what's going on. And even if he does not get contact here, even if he gets straight outside, there's still yardage gained. Not a touchdown, but there's still yardage gained here, because you're asking somebody to cover a route that's very difficult to do when you already have 2 guys who are in a better position to cover this route. And now I know you got a corner who transitioned to safety at the top of the screen, so you'd hope that he'd come down and help. But as a defense, defensive mind, that's a whole lot of room and a whole lot of space that you're giving that guy to be able to make a play on that outside. So this is just when you're formulating your defense. Some things sound good and they seem like they work on paper, but when you actually roll it in a play, you see the result that guy just can't make that play. It's too quick. The running back is getting out too fast. The quarterback knows his read. That's where he's going. And the linebacker has to get through a lot of mess. He's got to make the right read and he's got to get right angles. That's a lot to ask of a guy. No matter freshman, senior, All-American, not, it's still a hard play to make. And in this one, he doesn't make it at all. And again, touchdown Alabama.
That's a great point. Everyone here at Locked In wants to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed to, liked, and commented on our channel. We've had a blast bringing great college football analysis to you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. If you want to share your thoughts, we'd love to see your comments. Till next time, stay locked in.